couple years ago on a Friday afternoon, we had some extra time in the video studio. We decided to do a video on how to jack up and put your S550 Mustang on jack stands. Now, at the time we figured, you know what, the S550, that suspension might be new to a lot of people. They might not know where to put jack stands. Well, that video actually got very, very popular, and owners have been asking for videos for every other year. And for somehow, to this point, we've never done one on a Classic Mustang, which makes no sense because we work on them all the time. But today, we're going to show you how to safely jack up your 65 through 70 Mustang. Now, a couple quick things I want to mention before we actually get into where to jack the Mustang up or where to put your jack stands is we're going to do this on what we're going to assume is a solid car. Now, if your floor pans are shot or your frame rails are shot, be extremely careful with the jack and jack stands because being a unibody car, these are not the strongest cars, and especially if the car is in bad shape, say your floors are rotted, the car will tend to twist. So again, be very, very careful with these cars, but the places we're going to show you are going to be the safest places to use. So when it comes to your Classic Mustang, the best thing to do is to jack the car up evenly front to back instead of side to side, again because that unibody, because the chassis could be older. The best place to do it in the front is the engine cross member. Yes, this bolts on, but it's actually a very strong structural point. Now, if you're doing this and you have an engine in the car, the oil pan will be in front of this. So again, make sure you're jacking it up on the cross member and not jacking it up on the engine itself, as you can damage the oil pan. Also with these cars, never jack it up from the radiator support. It is not a safe place to use. It's way too far forward on the car and they tend to bend way too easily. Again, this cross member is gonna be the best point to jack up the front. Now your 65 through 70 Mustang, this area will basically be a little bit different. On 65 through 66, hard top fastback, you will not have torque boxes here. 67, you'll have one torque box, and 60 and up, you'll have two. But basically, you still want to use the same location. The front of the floor support and the end of the frame rail. Right here, you've got multi-layers of metal, plus you're attached to the frame. This is the best place to put your jack stand. Now at the rear of the car, again, there's only one good option, and that's right in the center of the rear, right on the pumpkin. And get it right in the center of the pumpkin because it's nice and flat too. Makes a great point to jack the car up. Now in the rear you have a couple options. You can put it on the axle tubes if again what you're working on. What we're gonna do is put it on the chassis, that way the suspension is hanging. Here, you basically wanna go anywhere in this area. So this is your frame rail, kinda here's where your spring connects, and forward here, anywhere in here is a good place to put it. While obviously most of our videos focus on modifying your Mustang, knowing how to properly jack it up is also a very important part of the process. Knowing where to put the jack and the jack stands will help you get that project done and get you back on the road in no time.